There were movements at the station, for the wog had passed around. Salmonella, I regretted, got away. It makes you run like wild bush horses, so but made 1,000 pounds, and everybody's crack began to fray. All the tried and noted bushquacks from the stations near and far had mustered at the homestead overnight, but their cures were ineffective, from cement to Stockholm tar, and it wasn't plugged with trusty araldite. There was Harrigan, who strained his piles when a harden got caught up. The effort turned his face as white as snow, so he took to liquid paraffin and drank it by the cup, but now he don't need that to make him go. And Clancy with his overflow came to lend a hand. His gripes had him crippled with the pain. There was ne'er a dunny held him, nor pedestal could take the 100 cusecs rushing down the drain. And one was there, a stripling with his backside tightly shut against the wogs that cut a mountain man to size. But he wouldn't go out back, boys, to that lonely little hut. No diarrhea from that one could be prized. He was hard and tough and wiry, and he fumbled for his fly. There was courage in his quick and patient tread, and he bore the badge of courage in his bright and fiery eye, but it didn't stop him straining on the head. He was still so slight and weedy, one would doubt his power to stay. An old man said, he's heading for the loo. But a shout from inside, stay away, slowed his gallop up. There isn't any room in here for you. So he waited sad and wistful as he strained his rear end. I think you ought to let me go, he said. I cannot hold much longer, and on that you can depend, for his face was turning absolutely red. He dashed across the paddock, fair to the other side, and then he stopped as if he'd had enough. He screamed aloud, bent double, and tore apart his strides, and vented his frustration in the rough. And Clancy came a-running, his face was quite a fright. His wails would echo far into the hills, for he couldn't find a laxative to save him from the blight. No cenopods or paraffin or pills. When the wog was at its zenith, even he was seen to weaken, but surrender, no, he'd not sit on the can, till intestinal agony gripped him, and suddenly he shrieked, "Look out, boys, I'm going," and off he ran. He was right among the leaders as they headed for the loo, and the watchers lying round were struck down mute as he waved his stock whip fiercely, and his desperation grew, and he raced across the clearing in pursuit. Then they halted for a moment while he swung the dreaded lash, but they saw their well-loved dunny full in view, and they charged beneath the stock whip with a sharp and sudden dash, and off into the lavatory they flew. He sent the flintstones flying with a patter of his feet. He cleared his fallen comrades in his stride, and the man from Kao-Magma safely gained a toilet seat. It was grand to find a loo unoccupied. Well, he strained there single-handed till his sides were white with foam, though he ne'er allowed his sphincter to go slack. But it was a false alarm, so he turned his head for home, and alone and unassisted staggered back. And this hardy little mountain man could barely raise the trots, while Kao-Magma settled his insides. From intestinal paranoia, you may believe or not, but without it he'd have surely filled his strides. Next morning we were sitting by the wood heap in the sun, not saying much, just resting there quite idle, with one eye on the dunny just in case we had to run. Then the mountain man came outside with his bridle. He saddled up his pony and he slowly rode away, till his figure was a speck against the sky. And we watched in thoughtful silence, no one had a word to say. Then he violently exploded by and by. And down by Kao-Magma, where the little houses raise their weather-beaten shingles to the sky, Where the stockmen go from habit, you can strain for 7 days, but you can't get water from a well that's dry. And where along the overflow they often tell the tale of mountain men who never know defeat. The man from Kao-Magma is a household word today. How he exploded, not admitting he was beat.